Business Live today is brought to you by GCB Bank.
Thanks for staying on. Welcome back to Business Live. Now, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Ekos Pilgabra, has emphasized the need for African economies to take advantage of e-commerce platforms to promote trade among member countries. He was one of key speakers at the West African Intertrade Conference held in Accra today.
While 60% of the EU's trade is within EU and 25% of Asia's trade within Asia, the situation in Africa is only between 10 and 12%. The main challenge to regional integration has been in national plans, which look great on paper, but a mirage because of technology, infrastructural, transport, and budgetary constraints. Speaking to Joy Business at the West Africa Intertrade Conference organized by Stanbic Bank, Trade Minister Dr. Ekos Pilgabra said African countries could explore e-commerce as a major avenue for addressing these challenges to enhance economic integration on the continent.
Those who use the eBays, the Alibabas and other such trading platforms, you go there and all the products you want to buy are listed there, the prices are there, the cost of shipment and distribution are also indicated, but there's no real platform like that for Africa. So if you want to buy tea from Kenya, you end up buying that tea from a European supplier. If you want to buy flowers from East Africa, you may end up buying it from Rotterdam. If the East Africans also want to buy from us, they may also have to go to Europe to buy their chocolates. So if we can provide a platform that allows us to see our products more directly, then we can, South Africans can buy more Ghanaian products and we can also buy more Moroccan products. That's what the e-commerce platforms are supposed to help achieve, to reduce transaction costs and to make products more visible to the buyer and to allow suppliers and buyers to meet each other electronically.
The Stanbic Bank West Africa Transregional Conference is to showcase the commercial banking clients and entrepreneurs' economic opportunities in West Africa. Abdul Jalil Hussein is head of commercial banking at Stanbic Bank.
We believe in Africa. Africa is our home, and our belief is that we want to help Africa grow. We want to be part of Africa's success story. We demonstrated that by pulling out of all other emerging markets to focus all our resources on Africa. So in the past, and amongst all governments across Africa, there's a need for us to promote intra-Africa trade. And being part of the Africa story as Standard Bank and Stanbic, we believe that we need to play our part in connecting businesses across Africa.
Television content providers have emphasized the need for better policies to develop the media industry for the benefit of the economy. This, they argue, is critical in addressing their challenge with financing to boost local content to the benefit of the economy. This came up at the September edition of the Startup Dialogues organized by African Network of Entrepreneurs in collaboration with Joy Business.
The 6th edition of the Startup Dialogues focused on helping young people build successful multimedia companies in Ghana. This is coming in the wake of rapid evolution of multimedia startups in Ghana. Speaking at the forum, Sadiq Abdullahi Abu, CEO of Muse Africa, and Edem Eduji, CEO of Campus Based TV, shared their stories, emphasizing the need for up-and-coming entrepreneurs to embrace constructive criticism.
The same opportunity as well. Had I not been given the opportunity to be mentored by some of the people that mentored me, I'm sure I probably would not have been able to gather all the insights and gain all the assets that I needed to be able to thrive. And so for me as well, when I look back, I see myself in most of them, how I started up. So speaking to them and telling them my journey is a way of guiding them and inspiring them to not to give up, but to actually step up and do what matters to get to the next level.
It gets to a point where nothing matters to you anymore, especially if you really have passion or have a vision and you know this thing, if you pursue it, you achieve something. Nothing matters, even the way you dress. Sometimes that's why you see entrepreneurs, they don't even mind the way they dress, but because Charlie, where the mind is, Charlie, they don't mind, because they know at the end of the day all those things will come back.
Local content in the media landscape has reduced quite drastically in the past 2 decades due to many factors, including high cost of production and competition from foreign content, among others. Speaking to Joy Business, Sadiq Abdullahi blamed this on the lack of structures in the local media landscape, citing Rwanda and Tanzania as countries worth emulating.
Key policies, because for us now we are more like independent content producers. We feed the channels, so I think that key policies that would emphasize more on local content or giving us the opportunity to provide more content to the channels really go a long way to enhance our trade, our industry. I don't think we have an issue with quality. I think that over the years, what channels have done is they have moved more towards the audience and audience strengths. For some channels, when they think that the audience love this particular kind of content, they begin to give it to them. But I don't think that quality is a problem. Quality and producing them really isn't the problem. I think that it's mainly the resources and the funding.
CEO of campus-based TV, Edem Eduji, also touched on the need for more funding for players in the multimedia industry to improve local content.
The funding is good because I know there are very good producers down in Ghana who knows what to use, the type of cameras to use, the type of editing stuff to use to get the work done. But the funding, because getting a camera alone to produce a very good product, it takes money.
Organizer of the Startup Dialogues, Eko Mensah, also spoke to Joy Business.
I am very happy that the stories were not so different, the lessons were quite similar, but most importantly, we're able to tell them that it is important to have skills, it is important to have mentors, it is important to have networks, and that's one of the things I wanted this dialogue to achieve.
In this digital age where multimedia is steadily growing, the need for the right policies cannot be overemphasized if Ghana is to harness the relevant economic opportunities this comes with, such as job creation and revenue generation for government.
The Commissioner for Rural Economy and Agriculture at the African Union Commission, Rhoda Peace Tumuslin, has emphasized the need for the use of science and innovation in developing the agribusiness sector to transform economies of Africa. She was speaking at this year's edition of the largest Pan-African Agribusiness Conference and Expo, which opened in Accra today, under the theme Turning Science and Business Inclusive Agribusiness Incubation for Vibrant Economies in Africa. The conference will discuss topics such as the future enterprises for Africa, supporting women as innovators in science and agribusiness, and innovative financing for agribusiness, among others.
Support and facilitate preferential entry and participation of women and youth in gainful and attractive agribusiness opportunities. This is as stated by the heads of state and government. So this will be evaluated and assessed every 2 years to ensure that Africa is on the right path for development, especially for its agricultural transformation. Now, participation with aim for youth engagement in agribusiness. I would like to say that the Forum for Agricultural Research, FARA, and its offshore organization, the African Agribusiness Incubators Network, is congratulated for this important initiative. They have achieved tremendous results through innovative approaches that engage the youth in agribusiness. The impressive results achieved from the UniBrain model of agribusiness incubation, as well as other similar initiatives, have shown that it is possible to combine science and innovation with entrepreneurship for agricultural development. And this is an attractive proposition for the teeming youth of Africa. Definitely, we must put science at the center. We must ensure that we are driven by modern technologies. Therefore, the relevancy of the outcomes of research and development.
This is on Business Live, and government has selected 8 local printers and manufacturers to print and supply all public schools in the country with exercise and textbooks. This was disclosed by the Deputy Minister of Education, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, in an interview with Joy Business. According to him, the decision is important as it will also help create more jobs in the country.
The dream of local printers to have all exercise and textbooks for schools produced locally seem to be seeing the light of day, as local manufacturers will now have the opportunity to provide all public schools with books. According to the Deputy Minister of Education, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, this is part of government's new policy to increase youth employment in the country.
The youth of our country who are looking for jobs, our policies do not support their quest to get decent jobs, to live a very decent life. So the new policy under our new textbook policy is that all textbooks must be printed locally. Enough of the printing of textbooks outside. So what we have done is to carry out an inspection of the capacity of our local printers, and we were really impressed with the capacity that is available in this country. They have some of the modern equipment that you find anywhere else in this world. And so what we have done is to float a tender. They have applied, experts have carried out shortlisting, and 8 of these local printing firms have been selected, and they are going to print all our textbooks, and I emphasize all, 100%. We are not going back to the era where you print just 13% or 9% locally and the rest is printed outside.
President of the Ghana Printers and Paper Converters Association, James Appiah-Beko, lauded the initiative and said local manufacturers have been calling for this for a long time. He was optimistic government will consider local printers in other contracts and also grant them tax waivers on their raw materials.
Soliciting for, and we congratulate government and Parliament for enacting the act, and everybody is happy. We have said over and over again that a number of jobs should be created from this project, from this particular contract that government is giving to Ghanaian printers through publishers. The ability, competencies of some printing companies. They set the criteria for choosing and chose 8 groups. Some of the groups are just single print companies. Others came in 2s and others came in 3s through collaboration, because it was going to be made as spread as possible for as many companies as possible to benefit. So it chose 8 companies or 8 groups to embark on the printing. When it had chosen the 8 groups, the publishers whose books were or have been selected were offered the 8 options. What that meant was that each and every publisher could go to any of the 8 and let them fix with them how much they were going to charge in printing the books for them.
The Printers Association say books imported into the country do not attract import duties and VAT, while duties and VAT are imposed on imported raw materials used by the local printing industry.
And in other stories, companies that began filing their annual reports prior to the deadline yesterday but are yet to complete the process would be spared the fine. That's the assurance from the Registrar General's Department as enforcement of the annual reporting enters day 2 today. More in this Business Desk report.
Defaulting companies that were at the Registrar General's Department on Monday, October 3rd, to fulfill the obligation, enjoyed a waiver of the 300 cedi daily default fine and paid only the 50 Ghana cedi fee. Some individuals who filed on behalf of the companies confirmed to Joy Business they were spared the fine.
Yeah, when I checked from the renewal desk, I was told I owed for a year and I'm supposed to pay that. But starting from tomorrow, which will be the 4th of October, anyone who comes here to do a renewal will have to pay a fine in addition to the renewal fee.
How many? Currently, I'm filing for 10 years, actually. Yeah, so I have 10 forms, and the number of pages to fill and all that is a bit cumbersome. I'm going through, I've been here standing and then filling all that for more than 4 hours. The difficulty I have had with the process is that my company has a TIN number, or has a TIN, sorry. But if you go to any of the cubicles for assistance, everybody seems to have a different view, a different thought altogether with what you should do and all that. But apparently I went to the right source, which was the client services, where I was directed to, go to one of the banking halls to get my funds paid for and get the right form to fill.
You can see I'm sweating. Yeah, because there are a lot of requirements, and if you bring your document and even one the requirement is missing from it, you have to go back and work on it and bring it back.
The reprieve is, however, for just the first day of enforcement, as full payments of penalties kick in on Tuesday. Sarah Imelda Ajiman is a company inspector and client service officer at the department.
I think the public is responding because from last Thursday till now, we get the whole place getting very full. They are really coming because most of the companies are even coming in way back, registered way back 1990, 1970, 1960. The company came here this morning, it was registered 1974. And so I think that news is now striking them. I don't know, but we tend to believe in last minute. So it's bringing them on. Most of the people around here came on Friday, but they couldn't finish the process. Those ones like that, they bought the forms and everything. So those people, we might have to do something about it for them. But the rest who will now be coming, they would have to start paying the fine, as our boss has said.
The Registrar General is enforcing the 300 cedi daily default penalty as part of initiatives to ensure companies operating in the country update their records in the new electronic database.
All right, so these are some developments in business coming to you from the local front. Let's now cross over the shores of Ghana to take a look at some business updates on international news. Thanks for staying. Welcome back. It's now time for the interview of the day. Business Development Manager at Ghana Home Loans, Sylvia Adade, has urged managers of the economy to do well to stabilize the cedi to boost the mortgage market. The mortgage market is among the hardest hit in the cedi battle for stability against the major trading currencies, especially the US dollar. Government has indicated it expects the cedi to remain stable towards the end of the year following inflows from especially the cocoa loan syndication and the recent Eurobond proceeds. Speaking to Joy of Business, Mrs. Adade said this was crucial in restoring the much-needed confidence in the mortgage market.
If the economy is good, it affects the price of the houses that people sell. You should know that overhead cost and everything comes in there. Like cost of materials and other things come in there. We don't know about it because it is for the developers, but we sympathize with them sometimes. And the exchange rate also comes into play when people come to us to take the loans. But somebody tells you that it's not stable, so I'm afraid to even take a facility from you, but I don't know what happens next month. I think that we are all aware of what the exchange rate is like now. It used to be, some time ago, it used to be 2 point something, but as I speak now, it's almost 4. Like the dollar, if we're talking about the dollar, it's almost 4. So it has hit us a bit. But when people come to us, they are reluctant to take a decision because they don't know what will happen next month. Now it's not about even next year, it's about what happens tomorrow. Because even last week it was at 3.98, like a cedi to the dollar. But now, when I was leaving the office this morning, Emil was saying that 3.99. So it tells you that it keeps changing. It was stable for some time now, but it has started moving again. So if it starts moving, then it affects our business. People are scared to make a commitment.
All right, so this is where we draw the curtain on tonight's edition of Business Live. In fact, it's been great having you on board, and I hope you did enjoy all the stories for tonight. And keep your tweets coming in at Joy Business GH And also on Facebook, we are Joy Business. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Make a date again tomorrow with me for another interesting edition of the business program. My name is Emmanuel Boaji. Yeah, good evening.